Good morning, this is Ed Wright from Wright Manufacturing. I'm here with Kris Kiser with OPEI. This is not because I'm out of town, we're not doing a regular video, but I just wanted to capture a couple things here and help you get a sense of what OPEI is all about and some of the things that are happening in this industry. So Kris, if you would, can you tell me, let's give a quick introduction to the major issues that OPEI is working with and what OPEI is.
First, OPEI, the Outdoor Power Equipment Institute, is a trade association representing manufacturers and suppliers of outdoor power equipment. Ed's equipment, he's a member of OPEI. We have 110 members. We represent their interests before Congress, before state legislatures, regulatory bodies, etc. And we're the communications face of the industry writ large. So the company names you know. We also own a trade show, the sixth largest in the country, GIE Plus Expo. It's in Louisville, Kentucky every year in October. And that's where the exhibitors showcase their products to landscape contractors, hardscapers, others in the business. And it's the place to be if you're in this business and you want to experience, not just see the equipment, but we allow you to demonstrate that equipment in a 20-acre outdoor area. So you can ride it, dig, cut, you name it. And so whether it's a mower, a utility vehicle, a generator, a snow thrower, a chainsaw, a hand blower, you name it, we represent those manufacturers and their collective interests across political and regulatory authority.
And so for GIE this year, for anybody who's trying to figure out what's going on, the show will move on like it's typically gone. We expect it to be a very normal type show. There might be a few less international attendees just because of some of the cross-border aspects of things, but what do you think attendance is going to be and how the show feels?
Actually, we feel very strongly. Ed and I are literally at our first meeting in person. It's the annual meeting of OPEI. We're in Kohler, Wisconsin. Again, a member of the Kohler Company. And it feels good. We are a face-to-face kind of industry. We're going to be back together at Expo. We know that now. That show's going to go forward. The show management CEO was here today to talk to us about trade shows and the criticality of trade shows to their respective enterprises. We know it's important, and we also know what the numbers look like for this year. Tons and tons of carryover monies, plus our numbers currently are stronger than they were this time in the year where we had the show in 2019.
Right.
We feel very strongly. And I think you hit it on the head. We'll likely have some challenges with international participation, Chinese in particular, maybe the Canadians. But right now, people want to get back out. They want to get back to business. We expect a good show.
Yeah. So some of the other things that are valuable to us and many of our professionals, landscape contractors, is some of the major issues out there. So right now, California is really they're trying to discourage the amount of emissions and whatnot. So there's some major challenges there, and work with EPA. So one thing that OPEI does is they help bring together a lot of these concepts that are around, and they bring input from industry and represent your interests as well and the progression of these technologies. But right now, I wouldn't say there's anything major that's going to affect commercial professionals on the EPA side in the next year or two. But OPEI is very involved in those types of issues. You want to talk about noise a little bit and some things you hear on that?
Noise is one of the big drivers you hear a lot about, and particularly leaf blowers. But on the engine side, it's one of the reasons you hear in California, now they use both emissions, but oftentimes it's driven as noise, is the reduction in use or elimination of internal combustion engines, and in particular leaf blowers. COVID exacerbated that. A lot of people are home. They're working from home. They're doing other things at home, and so
they don't like that noise.
And the yards kept going. Actually, people reconnected the yards. It was a banner year for our business, but a lot of people heard those machines. And so there's now a bit of a hue and cry about that and maybe bans, et cetera.
Sure.
So it's facilitating battery. California on the regulatory side wants to eliminate the use of internal combustion engines, not just us, for on-road, the on-road community, cars and trucks. They want internal combustion engines off or out of California. So that has not yet, the EPA has not picked that up. That is not, we don't think it will.
Right.
The engines are going to be here for a long, long time. But they're in our space. So regulators, the government is in our space. That's what OPEI does. So we have the former chairman of the California Resources Board is here today. He's with Ed and me, talking to our industry about the nature of the challenges. So one more, the water problem east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi, huge water challenges for the west. That potentially adversely affects our industry as elimination of landscape material. So lots of big challenges, but that's why you have a trade association. That's why we work with this company and others as their voice.
So many of our customers are leaders in their community and maybe landscape associations, that kind of thing. Now, if they're encountering issues that they're concerned about, maybe local regulations, noise, whatever it could be, And if they want help, or if they want information, or even if they just want to support and follow what's going on with OPEI, how can they connect or be engaged? And do you have any resources for that type of situation?
Certainly. The best way to reach us through the website, opei.org. That'll take you into a number of places. We have an education arm, the Turf Mutt Foundation, turfmutt.com. It will take you into that space. Our trade show is also a good way to communicate. So how we communicate to tens of thousands of attendees and exhibitors. That's GIE+expo.com, soon to become Equip Exposition in Tutu.
That's going to be exciting. You'll hear more about that later. But yeah, the GIE name is changing.
Going to change. But that's where to start. Again, we're their voice. But remember, all politics is local. So if there's a particular ban or challenge in upper New York State, they don't want to hear, hey, I'm from Washington, I'm here to help. They need to hear from a local contractor or the local dealer distributor. Engage that way. That's the most successful way.
And one thing that we're really kind of hoping for is whatever regulation has to happen, that there's consistency across the country.
Correct.
It's very difficult for us or whomever when there's different standards that are, constantly changing, can't be tracked and harmonized.
That's the word, harmonization.
Yep.
These are big manufacturers. You can't run a product sale state to state or country to country.
Right.
So we work hard at that.
Yeah.
Again, it's what we do.
Yeah. Well, Kris, I appreciate your time. It's good to see you in person.
Good to see you in person.
See you around.
Next time.
Yep.